Hello everyone, and welcome back to some more FM23, where we are playing with the Orange Foxes, and I am still in the beta, and we are moving into our third season. Well, we know we are moving into the preseason, that is, the 23-24 preseason. But before we actually get to all the good stuff when it comes to transfers and all that kind of jazz, I kind of want to go over the season we just went out of, right? So we are at the end of season review here. Review. Let's check it out. So the new arrivals from last season, Ramkile, he did really well. I mean, 14 apps, 7 goals, 7 assists, 7.41, 4.5, 5.4. Jesus, in average rating is really good. Mogensen, pretty good season as well. I'm pretty happy with his performance. Mortensen, really good actually. That's really solid. Svalling did pretty well. Andersen, yeah, Mogensen probably outdid him, but it's still pretty decent by Andersen. Sahin, I don't know, should he have done more? I mean, it is a pretty hard role to play, right? The defensive midfielder role, or Masila, or Carrilero. He played pretty much all three of them, so I don't know, he did okay, but nothing special. Andersen, I feel like he should have done a little bit better, but I guess I can't complain too much. He's still a pretty good signing to me. Clemison, he had a really bad injury halfway through the season, so he hasn't really played more than 13 games, which is a little bit... that's not great. As you can see here, the F on the board reaction, not great. Christensen, I mean, he was a free signing. He doesn't cost us anything, so, I mean, I can't complain too much, but would have liked to see more from him. Ingard, he didn't play him, I mean, he did, but he was just a bag. He was really back up, right? But overall, pretty good. I'm not too unhappy about it. It's decent. It's okay. Transfers out. Boubert, well, who cares? Who cares? The season results, I think we can be happy about this. This is when the league table ended, preliminary ended. That's not the total picture. That's not the end of the picture here. But yeah, it was okay, I suppose. I mean, we ended up where we wanted to, right? We got our goal, and we also ended up where I predicted us to end, in 6th, 7th, or 8th spot. We ended right on 7th spot, so not too bad. I can't really complain too much about it. Superkalen, I think we did fine. We got completely smashed by Midtjylland, but I mean, yeah, who would have thought? A B from the board, from the performance. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. It's okay. Yeah, I know I was pretty salty this season, but it got nothing to do with where we ended up or how we performed overall. It was more to do with match engine annoyings, right? Annoying kind of defending and stuff. It really annoyed me in this season, but yeah, overall I'm pretty happy about the season. Biggest win, 6-1. That was pretty good. B93 completely smashed them, and another match to... How is this not the match to remember compared to this one? What the hell? Whatever. Goals of the season. Mogensen with the goal of the season. Cool. The finances, it's not gonna be great. Yeah, this is gonna go downhill from here on out. I don't really see how we would get into the plus again before we are getting into... You know, before we get to the Superliga, the best division, I don't see us getting in plus again. Yeah, so it's not great. How we lined up, yeah, pretty much. Lauersen is up there, but we didn't really play this system for the most part, so... I guess not, I don't know. Yeah, well, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. The accolades, that's the fun part. Mogensen, fans player of the season, Mogensen, fair enough. El Subahi, young player of the season, nice, well done. And Ramkile, signing of the season, yeah, he was pretty good when he came in. Mogensen, goal of the season, top scorer, Syrup. What, really? What? He barely played and he got 7 goals. I didn't even notice that. Most assist, Ramkile. Wow, that's also a big surprise when we think about that. He came in pretty late in the season and he was the top assist maker. Cool. Most player of the match awards, 4 of them for Mogensen. Cool. Highest ever rating is also Mogensen. Most passes completed is the ball-playing defender. 43. Not a whole lot, but I mean, the way we're playing, we shouldn't really get that many, so it makes sense. And most clean sheets, Andersen, oldest player at Koenig. Did he even play this season? I guess he... Okay, fair enough. I guess he did. History in the making. Once Lyseng got rolling early in the season. We did not get rolling early in the season. We got smacked early in the season. What are you talking about, Kevin Madsen? This is bullshit. This is absolutely... This is not true. The spell of football at the start of the season was the making of the... Again, what are you talking about? We lost and draw the first 7 or 8 games. This is ridiculous. What an absolutely ridiculous thing to say. And the dynamic timeline. Again, I don't really... And why would you start from 2022? So the further you get in the game, the more you have to scroll in this on this thing to see or get to where you want to be. So yeah, let's see what happened. So it must be from. You know what? I really don't like this. I'm actually yeah. I don't know. There is something about the layout and stuff that I don't like it. Some people might like it, but I'm not one of those. I really hate it. I mean, I think it's... is it okay that it's there? Sure, but it's just not for me. It's just not for me. I don't know. It's just... There's just something about the layout and how it's shown to me. I don't like it. So, yeah, let's finish that. One of the biggest problems with lower leagues is... especially if you're coming from a... amateur club and then going into a semi-professional, the next couple of years is going to be troublesome. There is a big problem with how crazy it is for the players and their agents, their demands when it comes to negotiating a new contract if you have them all contracted already. All of our contracted players, as you can see here, or most of them, many of whom we wanted to stay, right? We wanted them to stay, but they will not stay. They are already gone, as all of them wanted double or even triple the amount in wages, and also appearance fees. You could basically say they want between 200 to 300% more in wages. It's that it's just impossible for a club like ours to do that, and The sad part, the very, very sad part about this is it doesn't really need to be like that in FM, but it is. Now here's the fun part, right? Here's the fun part, and the thing that makes it all completely ridiculous. All of them ended up having less in wages and appearance fees than what I would have given them if they agreed to my deal. Now they're gone, and they have less in wages, less in appearance fees, and they're playing for someone else. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But yeah, Clemmensen, he's gone, and as you can see, 130 wages. I would easily have given him 250. Jeppe Mogensen, he's gone. I would easily have given him 300, no problem, but he wanted like 700, so, you know, goodbye. Goodbye, Mogensen. Sahin, same deal, 250. I could easily have given him 300 or 350. Easily. He didn't want that. He wanted 800 or something like completely ridiculous, right? Gabriel Christensen. Now, this guy is actually still on 350. We were actually paying him 400, so he actually did take a significant amount of pay for him to play for Aarhus. I don't think he's good enough for that kind of money, to be honest. But yeah, he's gone as well. Jonas Andersen, he don't... See, I wanted to give him 300, maybe 250 to 300 in wages. He's non-contracted now. He's actually non-contracted. It makes absolutely no sense. Andersen is actually getting a small pay upgrade for... he was on 90 with us. I would easily have given him 200. He didn't want to take it. He wanted like, I think 400 or something like that minimum. I can't get these guys over the line. And I am trying to negotiate with them and their agents, but they wanted way, way, way too much. You know, going back and forth is all good, but if their demand is just way too high to begin with, it's just not going to work. Wilkins was not one of these guys, but he is also gone. Another significant player that left us is Brun Madsen. He was a non-contracted for us, and HIK, they came in and demanded him. So 250k, he left us fair and square, nothing there. It's all right. The same can be said about Syrup. He was actually doing really well near the end of the season, where he scored like 7 goals in a couple of games, but someone came in for him and I didn't really want to pay any money for him, so he is gone for HBK. and or HB Kø, well, whatever you want to say. If you want to say the Danish way or the international way, I don't think you can actually say this the international way because of the letter Ø, but whatever. 240 wages, so yeah, he's gone as well, but I think we got other players in this spot, so it should be okay. This one, on the other hand, I am a little bit annoyed by it. He went for Blitzfeld here. He went for Thisted FC. He's actually one of the... I believe he was part of... Maybe he was just in the club when we started. And he's actually a decent central defender, but he's gone now. I didn't really want to pay... I think he wanted like 250 wages or something like that to stay. I thought, nah, I can probably find someone else then. And the only thing that is really annoying is that he was under 19. He was sitting on the bench a lot last season, so I kind of wanted him for that position again, but he's gone. He's not even getting any wages in Thisted, so again, why would you go somewhere else if you could sit on the bench for me? Maybe because he thinks he gets more playtime somewhere else, or the agent is just not really making any sense. I'm gonna go with the latter. I think the agents are just stupid, ridiculous. They're not making good things happen for the players anyway, so it's... Why would he go to Thisted for no wages when he could be staying with us for no wages and probably play more than he will at Thisted? But whatever, he's gone. So that was almost all of the outs. We also have a couple of youngsters that went down on free releases and stuff. I don't really care about them. We have never used them, so there we go. They're gone, and that's fine. Now, I want to show our squad and also the new players in a little bit of a different way. I want to use this squad planner to show them off, actually. So let's begin with the goalkeepers. Now, we still have Rasmus, Jebsen, Jakob in goal. He was kind of the, you know, secondary, backup last season, right? I could not find a better goalkeeper than him this season. I just couldn't, and we know that we lost Andresen, or Andersen. Yeah, Andersen. He was named Andersen, our other goalkeeper from Sweden. He left us, and so we are left with Rasmus in goal for this season, probably. We do have another one, which is Andresen. Now, he's not bad. He's a 19. He's 195 centimeters, and, I mean, that doesn't really matter, right? But, yeah, he's okay. He's probably the second choice. He could also potentially be the first choice, but he was probably the best one I could find out there to bring in. And the good thing about this guy is that he is a non-contract, so he doesn't really cost us any money. So I think one of our weakest spots for this season is probably the goalkeeper area. But we also have Magnus Wang still with us. He is also part of the first team squad. I would rather play the youngster, and he will probably be on the bench more, Andresen. But yeah, that's the goalkeeper area. So let's move on into, what should we take? Maybe the defender left area here. So we do have a couple of new players here, actually. And I think the first one we need to look at is Mads Bayer. So Mads Bayer he's also a central midfielder, but I think I want to play him down here as a wing-back on support, probably. Or a full-back on support. He's not very physically good, but his mentals are really good. He could potentially play on a higher level as well, which is nice. And he moved the ball to the left foot before dribbling, so that also worked with him going forward. He's half good at crossing. I mean, that's not good at crossing, but at least he's not terrible. A lot of the fullbacks and stuff down here in these leagues have like 4 or 3 in crossing. So yeah, just a well-rounded kind of player that can also go into multiple positionings. He could also definitely often go into the midfield, but that's one new player in the in this area. Then we got Luca Costabile, who is Danish, homegrown, but also Italian. Kind of interesting, right? Also non-contracted, and also a wingback. As you can see, 5 in crossing. It's very hard to find anyone who is good at this. He's probably a little bit more defensive than the other guy, I would say, but not entirely. He's just a worse player. He's just not as good, I would probably say instead, because his tackling and marking is suggesting that he's not really great at defending either. He's just, you know, okay. I think that's what I want to say. He's just an okay player. Nowhere near as good as Mads Bayer is. Then we got the old boys. We got Peterson, who is still here, and I think he's probably maybe the second choice, maybe third choice. Let's move him up, actually. I do think he's just slightly better than Costabile. Yeah, and then we have the fourth choice, Ingard, one of the youngsters. I think he's okay. Again, very well-rounded, doesn't really have anything, you know, that he's really bad at, but he doesn't have anything he's really good at either, so yeah, so the good thing about the left back area is that none of them cost us anything, so, you know, yeah, that's ideal, I suppose. Let's take a look at the right back area. So right now we still have Mortensen, right? We still have Mortensen, who is probably the best wing back over here. Is he a wing back? You know, he's probably more a full back or a wing back, but yeah, and I can tell you right now already that we're definitely not playing with a wing back this sorry, a complete wing back. We are playing with a normal wing back. You see over here, we're actually playing with a full back on the left hand side right now, how it's set up, but I'm wondering if we should go with a wing back over here. In another tactic, we are actually going with the wing back, but as you can see, it is still the asymmetric balance fox, so we're still going for that. This is likely our first choice tactic for now. So yeah, but yeah, Mortensen first choice. Larsen is still here, non-contracted, decent, I would say. He's pretty fast, so that's he definitely. When we do control the ball quite a lot, this guy's gonna make sure that we can outrun the opposition on the flanks. He will definitely do that. He often do that. Then we got a new player. It is, what is his first name? Jonathan Krath. I'm not sure how to pronounce that actually. Krath. I think Krath is probably more how you pronounce it, but whatever. Another wingback, of course. Wingback on the, I would say support probably. But he could definitely play as an attacking. I mean, his flair is not really good, but again, very well-rounded. I like these wingbacks being quite well-rounded with a bit better physicals than mentals and technicals. Yeah, I feel like this guy could get a lot of gameplay this year because he's probably going to be on the bench quite often because he's 18. So yeah, I mean, it is very important to have some of them being under the age of 21 because otherwise we don't have a bench. So yeah, we also still have Lyseng, probably fourth choice right now. I mean, his numbers suggest that he should be a little bit better than some of the other guys compared to the stars they are giving him here, but he hasn't really been that great either. So I guess I guess Larsen and Kraft is gonna get more playtime than him. But yeah, so we have, I would say, enough depth in our wingback areas. The question is, are they good enough, right? Are they good enough? You know, we haven't really upgraded on them, to be honest. That's my worry, right? We haven't really upgraded on either sides on the wingback areas. But yeah, I think it's okay. It's just not. It's not. The problem is I had so many players going out that I had to get so many players in, and many of them are something we're paying for. So we couldn't really upgrade in this area. So it is what it is, right? It is what it is. Let's take a look at the ball-playing defender on the right-hand side. We got Mortensen, who could play in there, and he will likely do that from time to time if we're playing someone else out wide. Then we got a new player called Sondre Laugsund, or Laugsan. Yeah, Sondre Laugsan, not Sund. It could be Sund because he is from Norway, so it could be Sund because there is a lot of players called something with Sund, which is kind of a fjord, or I don't actually know the difference between a Sund and a fjord. What is the difference? I guess it's actually the same, except from a fjord is usually something with some mountains on the sides. I don't know, you know, I don't know exactly what the definition is. But anyway, he's a central defender, of course. 29, pretty tall, not very fast, but yeah, he's pretty good at jumping, so pretty standard. Second choice, maybe first choice, we'll see how it goes. And then we of course still have Illusabahi, who could also be first choice. I mean, it's between those two, right? It's between those two. I probably like El Subahi a little bit better because he's just a bit better on the ball, and often we will probably look towards someone who is better on the ball. So, but I think they will rotate quite a bit, those two, Laugsan and El Subahi. And Mortensen, I don't know, he will switch between playing on the flank and on and in a central defender role. So we'll see how it goes here. And we also have a backup to them, and that is a loan deal. I kind of blindly went for this guy. I didn't really know anything about him, to be honest. I just needed one extra body in there that could sit on the bench that was under 21. And I think it was my assistant, no, not my assistant manager, but the, what is it called? What is it called in here? The director of football actually suggesting this guy. He's okay. He's not great. He's just okay. The problem with him is that, again, he's not really a ball-playing defender. He's just a no-nonsense kind of centre-back, but maybe we'll need him. So that's the right-hand side. The left-hand side is almost the same. We just have Sørensen over there, of course, because he's left-footed. Still have him. He's still our captain as well. He is non-contractor, so that's perfect. And then we have a new player, actually, Kim Hertel, who's a 17-year-old who is also left-footed. And I specifically got this guy in because he is left-footed. This guy was actually scouted by as a target forward, which he can potentially do. But seeing him a bit more, I think he's probably more a central defender now. He's not very good at marking, and he does have holes in his system. But for a non-contracted player, 17 years old, who can be sitting on the bench playing both the target forward role and the central defender role, plus potentially a fullback role, I mean, that's a pretty... that's worth the money, right? Because we're not paying him. Maybe second choice after Sørensen? Potentially? I don't know yet. It could also be Lyseng, it could also be Mortensen, and it could also be Marius Jakobsen. We'll see. But I think the central defender area is kind of okay. Again, it's not something where we upgraded a whole lot. Actually, not at all. I mean, we have Sondre Lyseng, who is definitely a new player who is potentially as good as the two best we already had. But other than that, we don't really upgrade in that area. We just get more squad depth, basically. So that's the back line and also the goalkeeper. Let's take a look at the defensive midfield. Now, this is where we are starting to see more changes. Svalling, he is the only contracted player we had before that wanted a contract that was not ridiculous. He is getting, I think he was on 230 before. Now he's on 240. Also get 10 more in appearance fees, but not a ridiculous amount, right? That is acceptable. Even if I got him for 260 or 270, that would still not be completely crazy, right? It wouldn't be completely crazy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is... Oh, yeah. I actually wrote something down here. No, I'm wrong. It's not 230 wages he had before. Before, he had 160 wages and 50 in appearance fee, okay? And now, he got 240 and 60 in appearance fee. That's a 30% increase. But I think he's good enough for it, because I wouldn't be able to find anyone as good as him as a defensive midfielder. We are probably not playing with a halfback. We are likely playing with a deep line playmaker. I still think he's... because he got the other attributes to be a tall player, really good in the air, and he still got average of 10s or thereabout for the deep line playmaker role. I think he's pretty much perfect for this in our system. So definitely good to have him back in there, probably first choice. Then we got Mads Bayer again. I mean, he could definitely go down there and play a deep line playmaker instead of a fullback or wingback role. So I'm pretty happy with that as well. Then we got a new player who is... I'm not sure if he's good enough. He's probably... I don't know if he's... third choice? I don't know. But yeah, Jensen here. So again, a non-contracted player who is on loan, right? He's on loan, and I don't know if I like this guy. There is just something about the numbers, that the composure and the off the ball and work rate. I'm a bit worried about him, but we will see. He's only 16 as well, so he's probably gonna be on the bench quite a lot. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried about him. And then we will actually take a look. We can see Lyseng can also get up here and play in the defensive midfield if we need to. And then we have this guy. We'll look at him in just a moment's time, but he could also go down and play here. He is actually someone we're going to look at right now, because we're going up into the midfield where we have Sander Ustanes, right? He is a new player, of course, because we lost pretty much in our entire midfield, or at least the best midfielders we had before, so we needed some new ones. He is a Ethiopian Norwegian, but Norwegian homegrown, of course, because otherwise we wouldn't be able to get him. So yeah, he's fairly good. He's probably one of the best players in the club right now. He is, for the most part, probably going to be playing as a carrilero, but he could also play as Masila or go back and play deep line playmaker or, yeah, ball-winning midfielder. He's well-rounded, I would say, but also his mentals and physicals are definitely way better than his technicals. But that's okay for our sort of tactic. I'm okay with that. And also, he's pretty fast, right? He's 14 acceleration and 14 pace. That's pretty good for a midfielder. In this league, definitely. Very good, actually. 250 wages, so he's not even that expensive. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's going to be a good deal for us. Next one is another Norwegian. What is his first name? Erik Lobak. Yeah, Lobak. Double A means it doesn't sound like an A. It sounds like an O. So it's Lobak. So yeah, there we go. He is our new Masila. 31 years old, 160 wages. I think that is cheap as it comes. Very, very cheap, actually. Now, he can also play the other roles. I like his determination and work rate. He's going to be pretty good in also the mentals he has here. Composure, concentration, decision-making, aggression. He's going to be fairly good when it comes to pressuring someone. And he's also going to be fairly good from long range when he's shooting. I mean, the worst part about this guy is probably his tackling is only 4. Otherwise, he's actually a pretty good player. Masila probably needed a bit more in the flare area, but you can't get it all, especially not for this price. I think we're getting quality here. I think it's probably one of the best players right now. So we're gonna have a pretty decent setup in the midfield, at least when it comes to the first 11. Mass Bear, probably third choice, and then we got one of the players that we actually got in that you actually saw that we had on the bench near the end of the last season, which is Linnekile. So we picked him up on a free transfer when someone released him. I don't remember who it was. It doesn't really matter. Non-contracted, that's the best part about it. And also 18 means he can probably... I think this guy's going to sit on the bench a lot as well because he's 18. And he's not, one of the best 11 players. So, but he's okay. I mean, he's definitely okay. Again, he got some good work rate, some good vision, decision-making, aggression. Flair is even 12 here, and also most of his physicals are also pretty decent, except from the strength. So again, we got a player that is probably half good in the pressure. So that's really good. Then we got Kluvu. He's been here for a while now, and he's probably just going to be a backup again this season. I don't see him as anything but a backup. We have Nikolai Pro, who can come down and play as again, this is just like backup players that are normally playing somewhere else. Kroh, I don't really know where his best position is. He's just a backup or even a breakthrough prospect, right? Svaling, same deal. He can come up and play in the midfields if we for some reason need him to do that. And Johannes Jensen is that young midfielder who is likely going to be playing further back with Svaling or rotating with Svaling. Actually, probably just a backup to Svaling. So that is our midfield on the right-hand side. Left-hand side, it's pretty much the same. It's just Lobak, right? He's just a Masila on the left-hand side, and I don't think we have anyone else in here. So those players are the midfield, right? And for the most part, it's going to be the top 5 that is the real midfield. These, actually top 6, that is, maybe. Top 6. So that's kind of our 6 midfielders, because these 2 are more so going to be playing as a defensive midfielder. So there we go. I'm okay. I think the midfield is okay. I'm not too worried about it right now. So happy days, but we are paying a bit here. But the big spenders are further up the field. They're further up. So let's take a look at the winger. And it is going to be an inverted winger for the most part on the left-hand side here. And we do have a very, very interesting new player. Actually 2 to look at here, but I think we're going to keep it at one of them here. The only new player that I have brought in for this role specifically is Phun Mang. Yeah. From Myanmar, is that how you say it? Myanmar? I'm actually not sure. Was that the country? This is one of those countries I just don't know a whole lot about. Was this? Oh, what was this called before? It had another name a couple of years ago, or maybe it's probably a decade ago now. But Burma? Was it Burma? Was it called Burma? Nah, was it? It could be, but yeah. Myanmar. Now, he is a Danish homegrown, so no worries. And this guy is actually really, really good for this level. Look at that speed, right? He can run all day with his natural fitness and stamina out there. So he can run all day, and he got 14 and 14 pace. 14 acceleration, 14 pace, and also his agility is also really high. And he also just got enough of the other attributes to make him work, I think in this league. This could be one of the main assists and also main threats that we have this season, especially on the counters. He's going to be pretty good on the counters, I would think. And for the price tag of 130 wages, that is pretty sweet. That is a very good deal. And also only 19. We can even put him on the bench and have our rule with having 3 under 21s on the bench. So even when we don't want to use him as a first choice, we can even put him on the bench and he will even give us, you know, the option on the benches. Anyway, we still have Ramkilde, we still have Ørneborg, but we're going to look at them later on because they're more so... I mean, here's the thing. I think Ramkilde is the second choice. He's been really... Every time I playing him out either as an inverted winger, he's been doing really, really good. So, and he does have the pace to do it. He does have the dribbling and first touch and off the ball and all that. So he is actually quite good as an inverted winger. And we might have more other new players up front. So... Ramkilde might have to go out and actually play on the left-hand side from time to time. Same with Ørneborg, he could also be pushed out there. I believe Ørneborg actually got a new deal. I think he was, I don't remember what his contract was before, but he's on 275 wages now. So we still have Ørneborg, and he is, of course, still one of the better players, and the same with him, right? He's quite fast, and I kind of want a fast player out there. I want someone with a lot of pace out on the left wing, because there will often be a lot of space out here, and that is something those guys can potentially, you know, exploit, right? And then we also have another player. We can see him right here. Should I show him right now? Sure, because he could also play out here. Another Norwegian. Who would have thought? Now here's the thing. I do have a new staff that is Norwegian, and many of these players is someone that he knew. It just happens that way sometimes, right? You get a new staff member and oh, he's a Norwegian, and he just actually I think he's Swedish, but he probably played in Norway, or maybe he was managing in Norway or something like that. I don't know, but I think he's actually Swedish on new staff. But yeah, this guy Hansen Lien. I'm not sure about the last name here, but Hansen. Well, that's basically the same way you would say it in Danish. Hansen Lien. So. Inverted winger, maybe, potentially. I mean, the problem with this guy is he's not very fast. But again, he's been doing okay when I play him as an inverted winger. So yeah, potentially he could play as an inverted winger. But I think more so than anything, I see him more as a pressing forward up front. And then also Nikolai Kroas, the backup to the backups, right? So I think we're pretty good in this area. We have a lot of players that can definitely play out there. All right, now to the fun part, the strikers. Should we look at the pressing forward first? I think we should. So we have 3 players that can play as a pressing forward. Ramkilde, Ørneborg, and Hansen Lien. We are already taking a look at all 3 of them because they can also play over here. So it is we have some players that are very versatile in that way, that they are actually both first, second, and third choice in 2 different positions. That's pretty great because they're going to get a lot of playtime that way. We can see that Ørneborg is actually a star player, important player, and regular starter for Lien. I think they will get enough playtime to make that happen. I'm a little bit concerned about him being a star player, Ørneborg. I don't think he's good enough to be a star player, but whatever. I forgot to say that he is on 400. I think that's a bit of a mistake by my part. 400 wages for this guy. He has to be really, really good this season to be worth those 400 wages. Yeah, could be a mistake. We're not over the wage budget yet, so we actually have a good amount left. So I could go out and get more players, but you know what? We are actually, if anything, it would probably be a goalkeeper, right? It would probably be a goalkeeper, or maybe a wingback or something like that. Probably not up here. I feel like this is half decent as a pressing forward position. We have 3 pretty good players for it, and we also have more. This is not all of our strikers because we have a lot of target forwards now. This is gonna be fun. This is gonna be fun, guys. So. Well, we do have Ramkilde, right? He could also play up here because he is quite tall, he is quite good in the air, so he could definitely, well, his heading is only 6, but otherwise he could potentially play as a target forward, but he's only the 4th best choice. Same with Lien, he's the 3rd best choice probably. Again, pretty tall, pretty good in the air overall. But you can already see it, right? We have Fester back. And the fun part is that he is only 2nd choice. I don't know how good he's gonna be, to be honest, but he's back, non-contracted. A non-contracted Fester. I guess it didn't work out wherever I don't even remember where it was. I think he went for Tisted or Nestved. Oh yeah, it was Nestved. It didn't work out for him, so he's back with us. Let's see if we can make him work again this season. He doesn't look as... I mean, now when I see him again, it's like, oh, maybe he's not that great. But as a non-contracted player, absolutely, I'll take him any day of the week. So yeah, he's in there as... potentially the 2nd choice, because we do have a loan deal here, who we are also not paying anything for. Tekin Olgun. Oh boy, I've done it. Yeah, so he is a Swedish homegrown, but he's Turkish, right? He's from Turkey, basically. But he is a Swedish homegrown player. 22 years old, 2 meters and 3 centimeters. He is very tall, and he is very good at jumping, and he is also very good at heading, and his strength is even very, very high. And he just had enough high numbers some of the other places to make it work. He's not very fast at all, 7 acceleration, but that doesn't matter. This guy is gonna break the game for us. You can see already here in his form that he's scoring goals already, left, right, and center from corners and just being a shithouse. This guy's a real shithouse in front of the goal, man. He's just annoying to deal with for a central defender. So yeah, of course, we're playing with the target forward. We have both him and Fester up front to switch between. I think that for the most part, we're probably going to start with this guy in because he's just such a threat. 19 jumping reach. That number alone is going to be insane to deal with for the opposition. Absolutely insane. This guy, there is probably 20 goals in this guy. If he's not getting injured or anything. I think at least 20 goals in this guy. So yeah, that is kind of our players right now. Let's go into the squad setup. You can actually see how many we have. So that is our entire squad setup, and I'm fairly happy, especially that I haven't used all the wages. If we take a look in here, we haven't actually used it all. We do have 5,000. I don't know why they gave us a bit more than what they actually were supposed to, but they did. So we actually have a fair amount in the current committed spending here, as you can see. We could go out and find more players that is on bigger contracts. Do we need it? I do not know. That depends on the goals for the season, right? That depends on where we want to go. I could see myself do that. I could go out and try and find. We have trouble finding really good players, to be honest. We are struggling with. We do. If we go into the staff room here, because I do have a couple of new ones in here. We lost our. What was it? Mølby, right? Mølby, our coach, that was pretty good. We lost him, so I thought, oh, okay, well, we need a new one. So we do have a new assistant manager who is Swedish. That's the guy I was talking about. I don't know why he got so many good Norwegians suggested. I don't know. Career stats. He's been playing in Sweden, right? And he's probably managed in Sweden as well. Can we see that somewhere? Biography. Overview. Why is it not saying that? Why is it? This is the career stats for his where he played in real or when he was a player. But where is the? Yeah, well, we can see here he played in the Swedish First Division as a manager, I believe it was actually. Yeah, but he's only a coach for us. He was actually a manager before. Now he's just a coach. But yeah, in the Swedish First Division, it seems like. So I don't know why we have so many Norwegians coming from him. Because I believe... Oh, we can actually sit down here. Yeah. A lot of Swedish. He was a manager and director of football as well for these guys. Burma Podjakana. No idea how to pronounce that one. Syrianska. I think that's the team that have a lot of Syrian players. IAK. Wow, he played for IAK. That's pretty good. Anyway, that's one of them, and you know what? He's fairly good. I didn't look for an assistant manager that was good with people management and ability and potential. I actually looked for someone that was better when it comes to coaching, because before this, I got in another coach as well, Mark Strudal. I've seen this guy so many times before. I don't know exactly where he came. Oh yeah, FC Nordsjælland. That's where I remember him from. He was coach of FC Nordsjælland for 1 year, or actually a lot of years. And now he's a coach in Lyseng. As you can see, he's pretty good at judging player ability and also pretty good motivating. So he's going to be, you know, our motivator. He's going to take care of all of our, what is it called, team talks and stuff like that. But he's also a very good coach. So I'm pretty happy with those two coming in. And I think that's the only two new ones we have. The rest is still the same. But yeah, we have a lot of new Norwegians. In the we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, that's not one. 4. No, that was also a Swedish. So we have a couple of Swedes, and we have a couple of Norwegians now. Oh yeah, this guy was also from Norway, wasn't he? Yeah, Norway, yeah. As we can go in here and see in the information, he is homegrown in Norway. Actually, as a youngster, complete youngster. This will also mean he would be a homegrown, but this is just making sure, right? From 0 to 21. Right. Anyway, that is the players, that is the stuff. That's all the good stuff that I wanted to show you in the or when it comes to players and stuff and all that. We have a couple of other things to talk about. Preseason, right? We just to show you where we are in the schedule. We look pretty good, pretty solid, right? No losses, couple of annoying draws, but overall pretty good. We did win against some of the bigger opponents like FC Fredericia and also Roskilde. B93 was one of the bigger opponents. Hellerup and Kolding is also big opponents. Or equal, maybe more so equal than they are bigger than us. So yeah, that's pretty good. And we are starting next episode with, of course, against in the a really easy game against Tjärbol and against FC Roskilde in the league. So that should be good. Now, one last thing we should look at is probably the tactic. Now, that's why I haven't mentioned it yet, because it's the same tactic as before. Exactly the same as we ended last season. And we also still have this one. Actually, is that true? Did I change anything in here? I don't think so. I think it's exactly the same. I believe it is exactly the same. Yeah. And we still have the defensive one, or drop deep. But yeah, defensive mentality, where we are pushing the fullback on support and the wingback on support, and moving this into an inside forward instead of inverted winger, and also making it a poacher up here. So it's exactly the same, those two. Then we have a third one that I'm playing around with. So far it looks pretty good. It is basically a tactic that is going wide, right? It's the wide balanced. It's basically the same as the first one, except we are playing wider, focus down the right, overlap right as well. Or overlap in both areas, and pass into space. We're trying to kind of, if we are, this is the tactic that we want to play, right? If we cannot seem to, or we are equal to the opponents playing on the, if none of the other two is working, right? The balance is not working because we're playing too narrow. We can't play through them. And if we are going defensive and we can see that they are getting more chances than us by doing that, that is the third option to go for, right? Okay, none of the other two things are going to happen here. Or I see something where I'm thinking, okay, maybe we can exploit them out wide. That is the one to go for. That is the one to go for. Otherwise, it's kind of the, you know, it's almost the same formation as well. We're just moving the pressing forward or poacher out onto the inverted winger role. So we would have two inverted wingers and the wing backs on attack, completely exploiting the wide areas. This tactic is something that is high risk because we might try this out against someone that is just as good as us, but we need to control the game to do this. Otherwise, we will get completely battered because we will not have we won't have someone defending our wide areas. We will be pretty weak in both the right and the left area where they could play us. If they counter us in this tactic, we would be open to goal. So this is like the third option if none of the other two seems to be working in the games. Anyway, that's I think that's about it for today, guys. I haven't changed anything in set pieces or anything. We do have the captain is still Sørensen, and Mortensen is now the second one. Or the vice captain, so to speak. Opposition instructions is also still the same deal. You can see them right here, or pause the game if you want to. So it's the same as last year. So I'm pretty happy with what we figured or what we got to last season. Now it's just about if we got good enough players, right? So I think the absolute last thing I want to talk about before we're getting into the next episode here is the second division. Who came up? Who came up? Well, it was the Middelfarts. Yeah, they got promotion from the third division. So we got the Middelfarts to battle, and I believe Ishøj was also coming up, and it must be Aarhus Fremad that got down. They got relegated from the first division, and I believe also Roskilde. Or was Roskilde here last season? No, I think Roskilde is also new in this division. I think they were. Let's check it out in here. No, it's not Roskilde. Who is it? Who came down? Skive? No, they were here last season as well. Thisted? Nope. I'm confused. I'm very confused who came down. Well, we can actually go up and figure that out by doing this and then go for past winners. Oh no, not past winners. Profile. Where is the stats, news, matches, stages? Oh, here, right. We can go back. It's Næstved, right? It's Næstved coming down. Actually, where Fester is coming from. Fester was relegated last season, apparently, with Næstved. Okay, Fair enough. So those are the 2 coming down. Cool. I think that's the end of it. I think that's the end of this episode, guys. And I would say overall I'm pretty happy with the preseason. The transfers, the friendlies. Yeah, it's gone okay, but I don't know. I'm a little bit worried about this season in terms of where... Okay, let's talk about the goals here. I think the goal for this season we are getting into is top 7 again. Top 7. Now, that was not the goal last season. Last season's goal was just not get relegated. This season is top 7. I think we will just... That's the goal, right? Top 7. That means we could still end out of the... We would still end out of the promotion hunt, but we would still maintain our position, right? From last season. That's the goal. Just maintain where we are. Or better. But I will predict that we will sneak into the 5th or 6th positioning here and be in the promotion hunt this season. That's my prediction, but I think the overall goal is just not being worse than last season. So there we go, guys. That's going to be the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you around next time where we're getting into the 2 first matches of the season. See you around, folks.